Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to now my second video on YouTube. This time I will be going over the next set, November set. It will be Vivid Voltage, which is comprised of two sets from Japan, Shocking Wall Tackle and Legendary Heartbeat. This should be all the translations from both sets. So I want to go over all the cards, look at them, and give them a review from a competitive standpoint and solely from that standpoint. So let's start with Shocking Wall Tackle. These are then all the cards. Let's look at translations. So first off, we got Asida, Nuzleaf, Shifter Line. These two not too interesting, but the Shifter has really cool ability actually. If it's in the active, the supporter card, or like all supporter card in your opponent's hand becomes draw 3 cards from your deck. It's like they lose their normal effect and become a rather weak supporter. I think the big issue with the Shifter is that the attack is really weak though, and it also has to be in the active, which kinda diminishes the effect this guy have. So I don't think you'll see much play in tournaments, but it's a really cool card, and I like that the designers try to take cards in this direction. So it gives me like hope for the future of seeing other more usable card with more out of the box thinking effects basically. Next we have Nincada, we have Ninjask. Once during your turn, when you play this card from your hand to evolve one for your Pokemon, you may search your deck for a Shedinja and put it onto your bench and shuffle your deck. It does 30 and heals 30 for 1. So like, then this guy basically doesn't do anything. So the Shedinja has to be really good for this to be usable, right? You have Skiddo with Synthesis, search your deck for Grass Energy, there's a draw one for Pokemon. That's alright, but too slow for the standard format right now. You have Gogoat, 50, 150, Pokemon does 30 damage to himself. It's grass color, so also not going to see any play. You have Orbital V, okay, first V Pokemon of the set. 20 damage, you may switch this Pokemon with one of your benched Pokemon. That's alright. And always nice to have a root option on the early turns. Mr. Wave, 50 plus damage, his deck does 30 more damage for each energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon. Not the strongest, honestly. We have a couple Pokemon that wants to have a lot of energy on them, but this is probably not gonna do a one-shot anyway. And I don't think he would want to use this attack for too much. Let's see if he gets better if he evolves though. Orbital VMAX. Okay, looks pretty cool. Ability Vulnerable Beam, on during turn before attack, if this Pokemon is your active Pokemon, you may put 1 damage counter on each of your opponent's Pokemon. That's actually insane. That's a really good ability. It has to be active, but the card only has 1 retreat, so you can easily get multiple of these up and retreat between them, and use the ability multiple times. And you get 1 damage counter on everything. That's incredible. But we have a really fast-paced meta, so even then it's not broken by all means, but it's a really good ability. Disadvantage with the card is you have fire weakness. Let's see the attack though. 50 plus damage. This is like 50 more damage for each energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon. Okay, so it's just an upgraded version of the other attack from the normal V. I also don't think this will one-shot most things, so it's probably going to get used for its ability, but could be really helpful to set up Math for a couple decks. Maybe you play this guy as like a tech Pokemon, and play like maybe Balloon and switches, so you can get him in and out of the active multiple times, and then set up Math that way. So I could see this being used as like a damage fixer. So pretty decent card, but not sure if it's going to be able to stand on its own feet and be its own deck. But the ability is good enough that we could see it happen, honestly. So one of the more interesting cards for sure. We have Charmander with Collect, draw a card, Charmeleon, 20 damage, Mountain Mern, 6 damage, so you got 3 cards from top of your deck. Alright, it's still like 60 for 2, it's not horrible. Let's see the Charizard though. Also during your turn, you look at top 3 cards of your deck, put one of them into your hand, and then discard the other cards. That's a really good ability. Anything that lets you draw cards basically is really good right now. Or always has been. You have King Blaze, 100 less damage. This attack does 50 more damage for each Leon in your discard pile. So that's also not horrible. So if you have 4 Leon in your deck and manage to get all of them in your discard pile, this caps at 300. I also think Leon has some damage modifier as well, so you can even go beyond that. So you might be looking at having a chance of one-shotting VMAXs, which could be potentially good. It's still a stage 2 though, which is a really big downside in this format. Like, I can't understate how bad it is being a stage 2 right now. Mainly because of ADP, but also like you do get a lot more inconsistent when you're a stage 2, since the format is so fast-paced. You don't really have too much time to breathe, right? But if this is one of the stage 2s that could be powerful enough to actually be something you want to put into play. So could also be on lookout for this guy, for sure. Flareon, this Pokemon has Memory Capsule attached, each player's Grass Pokemon in play has no abilities. Okay, so this counters the Orbital VMAX, right? To turn off this ability. The fact that you need a stage 1 with a tool, and like not any tool, you need a specific tool, and you only turn off Grass Pokemon. Say if you compare this card to Garbodor, right? With Garbodoxin, the old one that has rotated. He could use any tool, and it turned off everything, right? So this is probably way too specific to see much play. I guess in terms of the Decidueye as well, but it's easier to take for the Decidueye with just a single pricer in other decks. It's much easier. So I don't think this will see too much play, even though it's like a kind of cool concept. Slugma, Yawn, Macargo, Heat Blast, Bright Flame, this card to attach to this Pokemon. Yeah, mostly bulk. Talonflame V, Fast Fight. If you go first, you can use this attack on your first turn. Discard your hand and draw 6 cards. Alright. So this is basically the Denna, right? You discard your hand and you draw 6. And you can attack on your first turn. That's the thing. But you also use 1 space on your field for this card. And I don't see this as a card you want to attack too much with. Do you? It does 160 for 3, which is decent. But you also have to discard an energy. So, like, this card can one-shot the Dennis. And if you get it on your first turn going first, it also works as a Dennis as well. So I could see this maybe being included as a one-off in some fire decks, because then you can also take advantage of the 160. But I think in most cases you could just as well just bench the Denna and do the exact same effect. But then you can also have a more preferable Pokemon inactive, for example. Not that this is bad to have inactive, but you don't have to commit energy to the Denna to use it turn 1, right? So you can see maybe some play in some fire decks because you can attack with it afterwards, but other than that, I think it's just the Denna that consumes one of your energies. So I think I would rather play the Denna in most cases than to play this bird. I see that a lot of people are kind of hyped about it, but I think the Denna will still be better than the Talonflame. You don't have time to use this attack multiple times during a game anyway, right? So, but it could see play, but I think it's kind of overhyped. Vaporeon, if this Pokemon has Memory Capsule attached to it, each player's Fire Pokemon in play has no abilities. Alright, so kind of like the other ones, it's like this trio here will probably just turn off abilities with Memory Capsule. I think it's too narrow again. So if you just compare it to Garbodor, they're just a much weaker version of it, right? Garbodor was very good, but it was good because it was flexible, right? You didn't have to play a lot of bad tool cards, basically, which you would have to do in these type of tech builds. So again, I think I will steer clear of those. Wilmer, Hydro Pump, plus 10 20 for each water energy attached to this Pokemon. Alright. Wailord, whenever you attach a water energy from this Pokemon, heal all special conditions from this Pokemon. 200 HP, Hydro Pump, 10 damage, this deck does 40 more damage for each water energy attached to this Pokemon. So this is actually not horrible, to be honest. It has a lot of HP, and you can charge it with Frostmoth. So you can actually do a lot of damage really fast with this card. You need 7 energies to one-shot ADP, right? Yeah. And then you need 9 to one-shot Eternatus. It's not the worst. It being a single pricer, I mean, it could actually see play. I could see this maybe take over as the Turbo Lapras build. Just because then you go in with something that's relatively tanky, but still only gives a 1 price. So it might be a replacement for Lapras VMAX. So this card could see play. Kinda cool, kinda cool. Not every day Wailord gets something that's actually usable. Alright, yeah, Oshawott, 10 damage, Shell Attack 20. Divot, and Samurott. This Pokemon takes 30 less damage from attacks. Okay. It has 160 as well. Aquawash, 120 damage. You may return 2 energy cards from your opponent's active Pokemon to your opponent's hand. Kinda annoying attack as well, but it being a stage 2 and not having the ability to one-shot like, for example, Charizard has, then I don't think you will have the time or you want to actually put this thing into play. Darmanitan V, actually. Okay, cool card. 50, flip a coin of heads, your opponent's active Pokemon is not paralyzed. Okay. Freezing Fist, 190. This Pokemon does 30 damage to itself. They do it for only 3 though, and that's 220, which is kind of cool. I think only Eternatus V has gotten the 220 as well. It's kind of beefy. Max Snowfall, 200 damage. This deck also does 30 damage to each of your opponent's bench Pokemon. And that's for 4 water energies. So 200 and 30 to the bench. Most likely you won't get to use those 30 too efficiently. And then 200 is just not enough as well, so I think this would probably be a little bit weaker than trying to go like all in with, for example, Lapras VMAX or Wailord. We also have Inteleon as an option as well. And the Metal Weakness is going to hurt really bad against Station. So this card is probably also not going to see too much play because of this. Shootle, Dreadnought, 80. If you played Nessa from your hand during your turn, your opponent's active Pokemon is not paralyzed. Alright, auto paralyze, interesting. But we do play a lot of Switch already because people are scared of the paralyze from Mutodex, Muk and Raichu already, so probably not going to take too much advantage there. Cramorant, 60 times damage. You may discard any number of Arrokuda from your bench. This attack does 6 damage for each Arrokuda. Okay, so this caps at 240, but only for a colorless energy. So if there's some way you can just recycle those fish efficiently, then maybe you could see some sort of play, but I think this is going to be one of the more cute gimmicks and not a meta-defining deck for sure. Okay, this is the guy you have to discard. So you take for 2 Arrokuda and put them on your bench. Okay. Cool. You're not gonna have the time to do this, but cute if you have to. Stage 1, choose one of the opponent's bench Pokemon. This deck does 20 damage to that Pokemon over each damage counter on it. So this can finish off something you already hit with the Cramorant, for example, since you're probably not gonna one-shot things with this. Okay, they have decent synergy. Probably gonna have the ADP problem being single pricers as most other cards, but maybe they could maybe see some small play, but not gonna be one of the best decks. Pikachu V, search deck from the 2 lightning energy and attach them to this Pokemon. Okay, that's pretty good. Thunderbolt, 200 damage, discard all energy from this Pokemon. That's 3 lightning. Okay, acceptable. What about the VMAX? Gmax Volt Attack, 120 damage. You may discard all energy attached to this Pokemon. If you do, this deck does 150 more damage. Okay, so this caps at 270. They discard all energy though. So you are barely below ADP, but you can fix that with like Zigzagoon or Band, for example. I think it's probably going to be too slow, and like if you discard everything, then you don't have a good way to recharge it. Also, the HP is kind of low for a VMAX as well. Not going to be too hard to reach. Wish it had like 330 maybe. Yeah, probably not going to be strong enough. Voltorb, Electrode. If this Pokemon manage, may knock out this Pokemon. If you do search deck from 2 lightning energy and that's from 2 lightning Pokemon in play in any way you like. Alright. Normally this guy just attaches himself to the Pokemon and counts as lightning energy, but now you searches them up from your deck and attaches them instead. So I guess you could charge the Pika with the Electrode, but then you give up a price. I just don't think it's worth it, to be honest. But I see the cute synergy you could try to go for. Okay, and then the Jolteon turns off all water Pokemon. So this can, for example, turn off Frostmoth, which could be a big deal, but again, like just comparing it to Garbodor, it's too narrow, and I don't think you want to go like you don't want to commit this many cards to just one specific deck, right? So probably too cute again. Zapdos, 20, Snipe Thunder, discard all energy attached to this Pokemon. If you do, this deck does 106 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon V or Pokemon GX. Alright, so this is like a Cramorant, but a single pricer, but you need the lightning energies. It's gonna be kinda hard to charge this guy. I guess you have Electro though, that you can blow up, but that gives away prices again, so then you lose the advantage of being a single pricer. It's cute. Could maybe see play in some lightning decks, but nothing crazy. Blitzle, Zipstrika, 30-70, kinda blank. Dynamo. As long as this Pokemon has energy attached to it, this Pokemon has no retreat cost. Okay, so it needs to have energy. It's much better if it didn't need energy attached to it, and then add for your retreat cost. Electric, nah. Sunfang, 60 for lightning, your opponent's next turn. If your opponent attach energy from their hand to defending Pokemon. Yeah, that's too easy to play around. You can switch, evolve, or whatever. Electric Sprinkler, 120 damage. This deck does 30 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. This deck also does 30 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. Nah, not good enough. Alakazam V, Tough Spoon, put 3 damage counters on your opponent's Pokemon in any way you like. Okay. The same attack as Mew though, which is not too bad. Mind Roller, 30 times damage. This deck does 30 damage times the number of cards in your opponent's hand. For 2, that's actually not that bad, to be honest. Your opponent can obviously play around it, but that has some potential. If we get some more Psychic support, because like Mantle attacks turn 1 and 2, so it's not too bad. ADP usually has a pretty big hand by the second turn, for example, because they go in with Zacian. Again, that deck can easily knock you out, so. Shedinja. Okay, here's the Shedinja that the Ninjask can pick up. Wonder Shell. This card can only be put into play with Ninjask's Shell Out ability. This card can't even be put into play when setting up a match. Alright, okay, so it's considered a basic Pokemon, actually. Squeeze Life. Put damage counters on your opponent's active Pokemon until its remaining HP is 10. But by making this a basic Pokemon, you can't use triple Colorless Energy attack to it, right? That's kind of unfortunate. If they just kept this as stage 1, that you could still only get out with Ninjask, then you wouldn't block the energy at least. Now this needs 2 energy attachments. Could be a little tricky to get it to work. Maybe if you go like Coco Prism to get that extra little boost you need together with the Twin Energy, which is new double colorless energy, only works on single pricers. You could be able to power it up, and then you can finish up things with either like a cute poison effect or Zigzagoon or something like that. I mean, it could have some potential, I guess, if you go into a metagame with mostly 3 pricers. Because you will trade favorable for sure then. Like it could see some play, but probably just gonna be one of those cute decks. Duskull, Future Sight, Dusclops, Cookies Ray, Dusknoir. As long as this Pokemon is in play, special energy cards attached to each player's Pokemon have no effect and now provide 1 colorless energy. I mean, it's a really good ability, for sure. But this is a stage 2, and to set up a stage 2 you need something amazing to happen, and I don't think this is good enough. If this was like a stage 1 or something, it could definitely see some play. But I think the commitment of setting up a stage 2 for this effect is overall not going to be worth it. Jamiko, Pulsing Stone, search deck your Pokemon support card, reveal them, put them into your hand, then shuffle your deck. I mean, this has been cool for like 15 years ago, but right now it's just gonna be too slow. Woobat, Unarmed Wave, this deck does 30 damage to each of one's Pokemon. Can't use this attack if you have any cards in your hand. Ah, alright. That makes more sense then. Well, probably gonna be just a gimmick. Ability and may prevent all effects of one's Pokemon's attacks done to this Pokemon. Yeah, or just effect, so damage is not an effect, so you can still attack this card normally. Godney, who's got triple draw 3 cards from your deck. Okay, fly away, 10 damage. You may discard as many Pokemon tools cards from your Pokemon as you like. This deck does 40 more damage for each Pokemon tool discarded in this way. Okay, so you can max have 6 tools in play. 6 times 4 is 24 plus 10, so this guy maxes at 250. It's not the most impressive, but it's only 1 energy, I guess. But you need to somehow get a lot of tools into play every turn, so could be icky. Agree, Alchemy, Sweet Share. Once during your turn, when you play this card from hand to all Pokemon, you may have each player draw 1 card. That was pretty cute, but yeah. We're gonna see play. Matchup, Machamp, Macho Revenge, 20 damage. This deck does 20 damage for each fighting Pokemon in this pile. I mean, that has some potential, honestly. It kind of bugs me that it is 2 energies though. That's really annoying. If this attack was 1 fighting, I could definitely think it could see some play. But when you have to stream stage 2s and you also have to attach twice to them, you could play the tool card to get rid of 1 of the fighting energy cost though, Karate Bolt. But even then it might be a little too hard to stream this and probably gonna hit hard enough too late. Maybe except against things like Eternatus, of course, because they have fighting weakness and they're really streamlined, don't really take extra prices or anything like that. But again, then you could have some other fighting options, so yeah. Little annoyed this card doesn't cost 1 fighting energy, then maybe we could see more play out of this. Phanpy, return attack, 30 damage, 30 damage times number of damage counters on this Pokemon. But it only has 70 HP, so it's just not gonna tank much. Okay, Earthquake, 120, this deck does 20 damage each of your bench Pokemon. Okay, so that's a synergy then. So Earthquake, you damage all your Phanpy, and then you go up with Phanpy, and then you use return attack. you need, if you attack 3 times, you can put 60 on it, and 60 times 3, that's 180. Yeah, I mean, I guess you can beat Eternatus. I'm pretty comfortable with this. Being a fighting, you can play Dojo, yeah. I can see you beating Eternatus with this at least. But overall, probably not going to be too great in meta. Cycle draw, discard a card from your hand, then draw 3 cards from your deck. Okay, twist quick. If you played Bea from your hand during this turn, this deck does 80 more damage. You only need a normal fighting and a twin, or maybe even twin and Karate Bolt. It's not the most horrible cost, but doesn't quite do enough to be used as a tech attacker either. Drillbur and Terrakion. Card press, you take 30 less damage, Grand Power 80 plus damage. If you have any Stadium card in play, this deck does 80 more damage. That's a little more interesting actually. So if the Stadium you have in play is Dojo, then you actually one-shot Eternatus with this attack, doing 170 times 2. So that's reasonable. The attack cost is kinda annoying again. I wish it was fighting double colors, and you could go twin energy, attach. Now you could go attach tool instead. That's an extra card that you need. I'd rather just go fighting twin energy, for example. Now this guy always needs 3 cards attached to it to do the attack. And yeah, that might be a little bit too much to have him as attack. Mudray, Mudsdale, probably mostly bulk. Clobbopus, Clobbopus, and from Canter Retreat, Tentacle Buster, 50+ damage. If this Pokemon used Headlock during your last turn, this deck does an additional 20 damage. Yeah, but you don't have time to use that attack first. Now this is a kind of cool card. Galarian Surfetch V. Once during your turn, when this Pokemon moves from your bench to the active spot, you may move any amount of fighting energy from your other Pokemon to it. So this means you can attach energy to anything, kind of like with Heatran. So when you don't have an optimal opening, or you just kind of want to attach energies to something that you don't really care too much about, if you get sniped, right? You often have that those situations where you can't attack just yet, but you don't want to attach to something that's worth multiple prices, right? Because then your opponent can boss and knock it out and hinder your setup even more. So then, like in the early game, you can attach energies to single pricers, for example. Like Jirachi, Zigzagoons, all your support Pokemon. And then this guy can just come in, swoop them up, and then come in and do the knockout. So like this ability is really appreciated. And this is like exactly the kind of fighting Pokemon I was looking for to have a splashable answer to Eternatus, for example. This is basically what we need. That we can take this index with Aurora Energies and stuff like that. And then suddenly we have a much better Eternatus matchup. Pochina, Mightyena. Nope. Sableye, draw card. There's just one Pokemon attack, can't use that. Nana doesn't do anything. Drop in V, 70 damage. Hazard Claw, 130. Discard 2 energy attached to this Pokemon and leave your opponent's active Pokemon poison and paralyze. Ooh. That's actually not too bad. Everything that does auto paralyze is always have a chance to be strong. Paralyze is the most powerful special condition we have in the game. It has Retreat, Fighting Weakness, and attack is kinda costly. So right now I don't see any uses for it, but maybe with more energy exploration support in the future we can get there. And maybe if it gets a VMAX, then this is like a reasonable basic. Sandile, dig apart, discard 3 cards from top of your opponent's deck. For only 4 colorless energy. Yeah, alright. It's kinda cool though. Not many basic Pokemon get, like from big lines, get such a hefty cost attack. Dig apart, discard 3 cards top of your opponent's deck. Okay, so like the same attack but for 1 less energy. And this is same attack but for 2 less energy. Alright, alright. It's kind of cool team, I guess. So you can discard top 3 from your opponent's deck for only 1 twin energy. I mean, it's not horrible, but it's just too slow of a mill basically. With the Belial Brightman ban, I think like the turbo mill attempts is gonna be pretty hard. It's gonna be hard to build a mill deck right now. Dervish, Lucky Bag, search deck an item card, reveal it and put it into your hand, then shuffle your deck. Okay, 30. Garb Cyclone, okay, 30 damage. This deck does 30 damage times number of Pokemon tool cards in your discard pile. Then shuffle them into your deck. Oh, that was so close of being a really good card. Really, really close. Okay, so if this card did not shuffle the tool cards back into your deck, then I could see this being very good actually. It shouldn't be too hard to discard like 12 tools, right? And then you basically have one shot on everything, and you are a single pricer. Stage 1, not stage 2, and you only need to win an energy to attack. So this could have seen a ton of play if they just left out this last close hole. Because with that, it's going to be way too hard to cycle all of these into your discard pile every turn. Yeah, pretty close. Just leave out to shuffle them into your deck, and this card would be super cool. Maybe a little too good though, but then at least it would see play. I guess a kind of cute combo with the other card we looked at earlier. This discards a lot of tools from your field, so I think that's kind of the synergy they were trying to make here, but I think that's just gonna be a little bit too clunky. A little too many moving pieces all at once. You could try to build it though. I think it could be like decent, but not gonna be one of the single price decks that can beat ADP, for example. Galarian Meowth, Galarian Berserker, 20 damage for 2 coins. If you flipped at least 1 heads, your opponent reveals your hand. For each heads, discard a training card you find there. I mean, it's cute, but it's just gonna be too slow. If you compare this with making pay person, for example, as long as they're over 4 cards, you get to pick and choose any card and discard down to they have 4, and even that card almost doesn't see play. So if you compare it with that, then just making pay person should be much better called if you're looking to control your opponent's hand. Escadrille, 30 damage, discard an energy from your opponent's active Pokemon. Okay, and 130, yeah, doesn't do anything. Shaking Swing, 30 damage is like the 30 damage times number of metal energy attached to this Pokemon. Then switch this Pokemon with one of your bench Pokemon. Ooh. Actually, that is not too bad. Because that you even have Metal Saucer, so you could charge this, and then you could make really decent damage each turn, and swapping it out for things that your opponent doesn't want to hit into. For example, Cursula or a Doll, things like that. So it actually has some potential because we don't have that many good hit and run Pokemon right now. So that's kind of what I'm a little bit excited about. You can also swap it into Galarian Weezing, like a lot of cards you can try to swap it into that have an annoying effect when they are in the active. But overall, it might not be too strong, but like I could see this having potential in the future. A/V/50 Sonic Edge 130. Ignore all effects on your opponent's active Pokemon when doing this damage. Okay, so this is the Decidueye and Obstagoon killer that ADP Station has been waiting for. There should be an auto-include in the deck now, and then you should have a free win against those annoying decks. This card will probably single-handedly kill off the whole archetype because they just can't win one of the big matchups they're banking on anymore. So really relevant card for the metagame right here. H/VMAX 160. This deck does 30 more damage for each prize card you have taken. Okay, so you're probably gonna take 3, maximum 4 a game. That's plus 90. It's like 250. The thing is, in this format, it doesn't really matter if you do 170 or if you do 300. That's almost the same against a lot of these VMAX decks, for example. Like, if you do 250, if you do 160, 170, it's gonna be mostly the same. Not the best. So this falls in the like the 2-shot category. So it's just a little bit short of being a great attack here. I guess if you have managed to take in 5 prizes, you do a lot, but then you don't really need to one-shot the VMAX, and you can knock out the single prize, right? So then you don't need the damage output. So it's kind of awkward in that regard, that it's the prize card you have taken and onto your opponent. Duraludon, Raging Close, 28 plus damage, so it's like the 10 more damage for each damage control on this Pokemon. Okay, 120, it's gonna attach this Pokemon. Nope. Eevee. Okay, Snorlax. On starting your turn, if this Pokemon is your active Pokemon, you may draw cards until you have 7 cards in your hand. If you use this ability, your turn ends. Okay, so this is basically just the Tropical Beach, but in Pokemon form. It has reasonable HP as well. That's 3 retreat, a little bit annoying. If it had 2, you could easily use this card with Baloo. But with the 3 retreat, that's going to be a little bit more annoying. So then you have to rely more on Switch and Scoop Up Nets, for example. But even then, it's not horrible. I think this could see some play, actually. Drawing until they have 7 is a pretty strong effect, for sure. Basically, like a Zacian, right? You draw a couple cards and you end your turn. This thing has to be in the active though. But if you are running ScoopNet switches anyway, then this could definitely be a good inclusion. Because not a lot of decks do want to have that like big 2-prizer on the bench, right? But a lot of decks kind of want to have a way to draw a couple more cards while they set up. For example, Blacephalon. A lot of them play Zacian or used to play Zacian, but then they have the issue with having the Zacian on the bench in the late game. This should just be a much better effect for that deck in the early stages of the game. It's also kind of one of those cards that just forces a Marnie or a Stamp for your opponent the following turn, because you would have too many cards in your hand. So your opponent will want to try to disrupt you. So I also think this could be a really relevant card for a metagame. Nice that we have ScoopNet to like make this card even better. A little more splashable. Halo, Swallow, 40 damage, might attach it to basic energy and discard pile to one of your bench Pokemon, but you have to commit 2 energy to this Pokemon to use that attack, so basically you do 40 and pass your turn. Not gonna do anything. Whismur, Thimble, Round. This deck does 21 damage for each Pokemon you have in play that has the Round attack. Okay. And Exploud does 50 damage for each Pokemon in play that has a Round attack. Gonna depend on how many Pokemon we get with the Round attack though. In theory, you could then have 6 Pokemon in play with the Round attack, and then you would be doing 300. It's still a little bit short, but this is a colorless Pokemon, so you could take advantage of Powerful Energy, which adds 20 damage per energy you have of this special energy attached to a colorless Pokemon. So then it could maybe reach the VMAX numbers you need, but yeah, could maybe see potential. Probably want to play it with Twin Energy, and then it's just barely out of reach for the numbers you actually want to hit. Draw an Rotom, look at your opponent's hand, then look at the top card from your opponent's deck and turn it to the top of their deck. That's actually kinda cool though, because then you have full information on your opponent's hand and situation for next turn. Kinda cool. Could maybe see play in some sort of control melee variant, but yeah, other than that, not too much. Telephotoscope, Pokemon tool, attach a Pokemon. The attacks of the Pokemon this card is attached to do 30 more damage to your opponent's benched Pokemon B and GX. I've seen a lot of people being excited about this card. It lets Cramorant snipe Crobat for a knockout, for example. I think maybe that is the most relevant thing it does. But it also doesn't have any restrictions on like adding damage. So if you do an attack that does damage to everything, then you would get the 30 extra to everything as well. So I guess that could be kind of strong. Maybe we could put this on the water spread Pokemon we looked at earlier, the VMAX. Then you would do, or like your damage output would be much higher. So definitely see some competitive aspect of this card. Can definitely change a little bit up the meta game. It might even just prompt people to just start playing Mew if spread deck gets more played because of this card, which I could definitely see happen. This card just might lead to Mew being more played. Alright, here's the memory capsule that we need for all the EVs. The Pokemon this card is attached to can use any attack from its previous evolution. Alright, so you can copy Eevee's attacks, but Eevee didn't have any really good attacks either, so this is basically just filling up. Okay. But cool enough. But yeah, discard the top cards from your deck, attach all energy cards discarded in this fight to benched fighting Pokemon in any way you like. So this is basically the support we had for Dragons, En's Resolve, but it's one less card. So, I mean, En's Resolve didn't see much play at all, so we would have to have some really great fighting Pokemon to make this card see play. Especially because, like, En's Resolve, we had even ADP as a target for energies, and it still didn't see much play, even though we had a really good dragon. Leon, during this turn your Pokemon stacks do 30 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. Okay. So in theory, if you got 4 Leon and you use the last one, you attack with your Charizard, you do 330 damage, and then you would only need like 1 Zigzagoon ping, for example, to finish off Eternatus. Not the worst. That deck is going to be pretty weak to pricing even 1 Leon. With 1 Leon priced, you suddenly hit that really awkward number between 200 and 300, which doesn't really do anything other than set up for a 2-shot. And then, yeah. But a cool card, for sure. Like, in general, having a supporter that adds 30 extra damage to your Pokemon could definitely be relevant. Damage modifiers in Pokemon have throughout history always been really solid to have in your deck. To have that little extra reach you normally wouldn't have can be really relevant here and there. Draw 2 cards. If Windon Stadium is in play, draw 2 more cards. Okay, that's kinda cool. If the Windon Stadium is one of those cards you want to play 4 of, then we'd actually have a card that could just straight up draw 4, which we don't really have. Nessa, choose up to 4 in any combination of water Pokemon and water energy from this pile and put them into your hand. I mean, that's definitely better than Fishman, which only lets you pick water Pokemon. No water energy, I mean. But having the opportunity to like split between water energy and water Pokemon is really cool. So, like say in Frostmoth builds, I could definitely think this card could see play, because that's a pretty strong effect, to be honest. Just being able to like pick up a VMAX or a Moth and 3 energy, for example, could be really cool. Probably not going to be seen like in high numbers, but like a tech card or two, I could maybe see be teched into Frostmourne decks. Here's Bat, Stadium. Each basic Pokemon in play takes 20 less damage from their opponent's attacks. Alright, so this is another like tank card for say Lucario Melmetal-ization. So you can add that to the GX attack and Goggles. And then suddenly your opponent does 80 less damage to you. That's a ridiculous amount of resistance. So yeah, basic Pokemon are what's good right now, or like a lot of them are really good. That and VMAXs. So 20 less damage from attacks. This could definitely see play to like mess up some math. Wind Stadium. Whenever a player plays a Pokemon VMAX from the hand during their turn to evolve their Pokemon V, heal 100 damage from that Pokemon. I mean, it's kind of cool to get rid of some chip damage, but it's probably going to be one of the cards that is a little too situational. Because when you play VMAX deck, you don't normally do too much with your normal V, you just use it to evolve, and if you don't evolve fast enough, then it just gets knocked out right away. So I think this is going to be a little too niche to actually see play. Wash, Water Energy. Price 1 water. Prevent all effects of attack from one's Pokemon until the water Pokemon this card is attached to. Existing effects are not removed and damage is not an effect. I mean, it's not horrible. Like some annoying effects could definitely come up that water could be wanting to take for. It's kind of like the old special Fairy Energy, which didn't see too much play, but that it's going to be depending on what upcoming sets are going to bring in terms of centralizing Pokemon. So this like could see some play in the future, but right now I don't think there's too much use for it. Then we have Coating Metal Energy. As long as this card is attached to Pokemon, price Metal Energy, and Metal Pokemon this card is attached to has no weakness. Okay, so this is also really relevant. We have Lucario Melmetal and Zacian, and like this deck kinda has a big problem with weakness right now, because fire is also one of the better types, right? So if you have this, you have a Metal Energy you can use instead of a Weakness Guard Energy, which is kinda big deal. Because you don't want to play a Weak Guard Energy to a Zacian, because then you need 4 energy attacks and it's really awkward. So having Weak Guard Energy in form of Metal Energy is really good for Metal, obviously. So this could easily be a staple when it comes out in Metal decks, like decks focusing on attacking with Zacian and especially Lucario Melmetal-ization. I could definitely see use of this energy. That's the whole Shocking Volt tackle. Then we just have to go through the legendary Heartbeats to get the other half of the expansion here. Alright, we have a Weedle Kakuna Beedrill line. The Beedrill, once during your turn, if this card is the only card in your hand, you may play it onto your bench, then draw 3 cards. So this is the same ability as the Greninja GX promo has. That effect on its own is not too great. It's really cute, but the card needs to do something in addition for this to be worthwhile. This only does 120 for 2. Like, don't think me wrong, it's a pretty fair number when you have it on a Pokemon you can just slap down on the bench, which is just still not doing anything too relevant for the current format. Head Split, 30 damage and block 1 attack. Nope, 90. Yanmega, you turn 50 damage, you may switch this Pokemon with one of your benched Pokemon. And you do 130 for 4. Yeah, also not gonna be good enough. Iron Defense, nah. Okay, so Celebi. as many of you know, this is actually my favorite Pokemon, so I'm really hoping this card is at least somewhat decent. Energy Press, 30 damage. This deck does 30 damage times number of energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon. Honestly, that's not too bad. Only 1 energy, it's a single pricer, so you could use it just to get some shift damage into something you want to finish off afterwards. Kinda like how things like Hoopa or Spiritomb works for Dark now, where you can just hit into like one of these big 3 pricers, because you can't one-shot it with what you actually have as your main attacker. So you just come with the single pricer, just like kind of poke it, and then you take it down with your main threat afterwards. So I could see it being used for that, for its energy press attack. Also, like, depends if you have any reason to play grass though. Like if you don't have that typing, or no raw energy, or like any multi-colored energy, then you obviously won't take it though. But this could be one of the tech cards in the future at least. We have Amazing Bloom as well for Lightning Psychic. Search the deck for a card that evolves from each of your benched Pokemon and play those cards on top of the Pokemon to evolve them. Like that's a really good attack, but the energy requirement is way too awkward. If this was a 1 energy attack, then it could actually be used, but being so awkward in requirement, then I think it's going to be used for the energy press as a tech, and that's basically it. We have Shaymin, 20 damage, healed at 20, Flower Transport, flip a coin. If hits, your opponent flips their active Pokemon all cards attached to it face down, shuffle those cards and puts them on the bottom of their deck. I mean, it also has a stadium, so you can reflip for the attack, so you get like a 75% chance of just putting your opponent's active on the bottom, but still, it's gonna be too cute. You don't want to rely on coin flips like that, especially since you have to commit 2 energy to this. If it was like just 1 grass maybe, then it could be like a techable prey card you could use, but probably not like this. Linear attack, 50 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon, and 120 for 3. Yeah, that's not gonna be it. Special Anchor, 60 damage, so this Pokemon has special energy attached to it, this attack does 60 more damage. So like this you could go grass and twin energy too, and then you do 120 for 2 attachments. Don't really see it doing too much. Then Cell Base probably just much better if you want like some chip damage in with the grass Pokemon. Alright, let's look at this. Sarud V. Bind down, 50 damage. Your opponent's active Pokemon can't retreat during your opponent's next turn. Alright. Jungle Rise, 100 damage. You may attach up to 2 basic energy cards from your hand to your bench Pokemon in any way you like. Heal all damage from those Pokemon. Okay, so like the damage output is a little bit low, but it's only 2 grass, and you do get a full heal, right? So in like grass and archetype could definitely benefit from this. Right now we don't have any good committed grass decks, but this is like one of the cards I would just keep in back of my head and see if it could maybe be relevant again if we get some more grass support in the future. And first V. 50 damage, your opponent's active Pokemon is often confused for Lightning Colorless, and Lightning 120. This deck does 30 damage to each of your opponent's bench Pokemon that already have damage counters on them. I mean, not horrible, not the best, kind of medium. Maybe if you attach Tool to this and then use 60 Gunpings, you can get the maximum value out of its attack. Because then you're doing 60 damage to everything you attacked with the 60 Gun, as long as it was a V or a GX. But even then, the HP is kinda low, it's gonna get one-shotted by mostly everything, and the energy requirement is too high. Okay, Raikou, Grass, Lightning Metal, Amazing Shot, 120 damage. This deck does 120 damage to one of your opponent's benched Pokemon. I mean, for being a basic single pricer, doing 240 for 3 energy, that's actually really good, right? That's good damage output. But the energy requirement here is really awkward. If you get some sort of good way to extract energy, this could maybe come in, but right now I don't see it. Mana trick, once during your turn and place card from hand to all Pokemon, you may draw 3 cards. So it's like a one-time draw 3 card. Yeah, that's really treat though. Yeah, nothing amazing here. Pursuit Shock, 20 damage. This deck does 20 damage times number of damage counters on your opponent's active Pokemon. But it is 2 energy attachments though, and that's just to finish off something on, and it's a stage 1, so probably just gonna be a little too much work for the value you get back. Zekrom, Wild Truck, 130. This Pokemon does 6 damage to itself. Your opponent's active Pokemon is not paralyzed. Ooh, a lot going on there actually. But it's 3 energy, so don't quite see it. People will have to stop the play switch completely to make this too viable. Like the damage output just a little bit too low. Sarah, Fighting Thunder, 30 plus damage. If your opponent's active Pokemon is a Pokemon V or Pokemon GX, this attack does 80 more damage. And they usually are, so this is 110 for 2. And the card is free retreat. So this is actually not the worst. But like it's 2 energy attachments instead of 1. The free retreat does help a little bit, but even then you would probably be better off with Zapdos in most cases, because you could do 80 for 1. And 80 for 1 contra 110 for 2 is probably better. Pincurchin. This deck does 10 damage to each of your opponent's Pokemon for just a single lightning. Like if you attach the tool to this, then you can do 10 to active and like 40 to majority of the bench, but yeah, not the best. Mini Metronome, flip a coin, F-head, choose one of your opponent's active Pokemon's deck and use it as this attack. I mean, that's kind of cute. Too bad it's a coin flip though. Ability, Moon's Blessing. On starting turn, if your active Pokemon has any psychic energy attached to it, you may heal 20 damage from it and remove one of its special conditions. Yeah, it's it could be teched for like super specific matchups, but nah, not gonna be one of them. Psychic Power, put 2 damage counters on your opponent's Pokemon you like. Tail Command, 30 damage. You may have your opponent shuffle their hand into the deck, then draw 4 cards. Nah, not strong enough. Shabut, put 1 damage counter on opponent's active Pokemon. Ban it. On starting your turn, when you place a card from your hand to evolve Pokemon, you may devolve one of your opponent's bench to evolve Pokemon and put the highest stage evolution card on it into your opponent's hand. So honestly, that effect isn't the worst. You can devolve a VMAX you just hit into. You kind of have to have a boss as well, so you can like put it on the bench, because this only devolves opponent's bench Pokemon. Like I can see situations where you just hit into the active, and instead of bothering to hit again to finish it off, you can like boss something, and then you can devolve it, and then finish it off that way. So like this card actually has some potential. Could definitely be like some sort of Q-tech, so you can make a game plan working against some of these VMAX deck. Because maybe you have damage output to one-shot the normal V, but not the VMAX. So you just do your attack, and then you can boss and start pressuring the next VMAX they have, while you devolve the one you hit already with the Bannet. And then like you have this multi-pressure on like both their attackers. Normally, like the VMAX deck only have time to set up 2 of these when they rush for it. So like I could see it being like a tech in combination with boss, like put pressure on both. But apart from that, I don't really see it having much uses. But like that specific scenario could be kind of cool, honestly. Then 10 confused. Cute. G-Hunt, put a card from the discard pile into your hand. I mean, that's not too bad. We actually don't have any Xernas in the format right now. I saw that all of them actually rotated, so now Xernas is back again, I guess. And 100 damage, heal 30 damage from this Pokemon. Yeah. Like, put the card from the discard pile into your hand, pretty strong effect, but yeah. Not, it's not like research management good. It's not in Huranguru. Diancie, ability, Glittering Veil, as long as this Pokemon is reactive Pokemon and damage on your Pokemon by opponent's attack, shoots by 30. Okay, this is every Pokemon, so like you stop like snipe attacks and stuff. Sensing Ray, 50% damage if you play the support card from your hand during its turn, this attack does 70 damage. So this does 120 for 2 attachments and it's Psychic. Nah, not enough. Scattered Sugar, All Creamy V, okay. Heal 30 damage from each of your bench Pokemon. Sweet Splash and damage. If the defending Pokemon is a basic Pokemon, it can't attack during opponent's next turn. Yeah, that's gonna be too easy to play around with Switch or Evolve or just not being a basic in the first place. Decorate for each of your benched Pokemon, search the deck for a Psychic Energy and attach it to that Pokemon and shuffle your deck. I mean, not horrible. G-Max Finale, 60 damage. You may discard any number of energy attached to your Pokemon. This attack does 60 damage for each energy card discarded in this way. It's like, the attack is unlimited. And it doesn't specify what energy you have to discard either. But say if we compare this to a combo we already have in format, where we could go Mewtwo Tag Team, copy Blastoise, and use Frostmourne to exploit energies, for example. That seems to be much easier and faster than going the route that All Creamy wants to go. Also, like the metal weakness on the bottom left there is probably just going to completely kill off the card. Especially with like we getting more support with the special metal energy to the Zacian, so I think both of those combined, it's just gonna kill off this card. Okay, Zacian, 30 damage, attach a basic energy from this discard pile to this Pokemon. Okay. Amazing Sword, 150 damage. If your opponent has a Pokemon VMAX in play, this attack does 150 more damage. Ooh. So that's gonna do 300 damage for 3 energy on a single Pricer. Honestly, that's a lot of damage. That's not too bad, even with the really awkward energy cost here. Like, you could play Turbo Patch to help this thing out. Maybe some special energies. Like, this card actually has some potential just because of the really high damage output on a single Pricer here. I could even see this be played in ADP as like some sort of tech card. You play like Aurora, you play energy switches, stuff like that. Yeah, like it could actually have some potential. Turbo Patch, you can charge it in one go, and then you have some extra reach with ADP's attack. I mean, like, yeah, not horrendous like most of these others. You could keep a little eye on this guy actually. Whipper, Quagsire, and 30, moves him back to 180. If you have 6, 4, or 2 price cards remaining, this attack does nothing. Okay. I was excited for like 2 seconds there. Okay, so it's a little too specific to build your whole deck around, I feel like. Yeah, but if you play against alternatives and you somehow get through the first one, then you can finish off with this guy, but then you have better options as stage 1 fighting Pokemon. Like the Fight Alone Crab. Struggle, flip coin into Lucky Tails for each head, discard 1 card from top of your opponent's deck. That's kind of funny though, but it's a flip. For damage, no resistance, 130, fighting colorless. It's really annoying that we have so many of these Pokemon. They just print them with like the energy requirement 2 of their own type, and then like 1 colorless energy, and damage output is even way too low. It's really annoying because it just doesn't work in any level, right? Riolu, nothing. Zygarde, 30 fighting colorless. Okay. 80 plus damage if you have more prize cards remaining than your opponent. This deck does 80 more damage. Ooh. Okay, this is really cool actually, and then this 150 HP as well. Okay, this is not too bad. This is 2 attachment to hit 160 when you're behind. So you're pretty close of one-shotting Eternatus. Not quite there. If it was like plus 80 plus 90, that would be perfect. Right now it does 320 after times 2 weakness and being behind. But it's a fighting and a twin energy at least. So this is really close to being the kind of fighting Pokemon we wanted. Rockruff, Lycanroc, not doing too much. Colossal V. Alright, cool design. Searing Flame, Fighting Colors, 9 damage to opponent's active Pokemon is not burned. Triple Fighting Colors, 180. Not the best. Eruption Blast, 40 plus damage. Discard 1 card from top of your deck. If that card is an energy, this attack does 90 more damage. Then attach that energy to this Pokemon. I mean, that attack is really easy to get with Oranguru. You just put an energy on top of your deck, and then you always guarantee the attack here. So that's 130. Yeah, 130 for 1 fighting. Not the worst. This is probably the best VMAX fighting Pokemon we have right now. And then does 240 for 4. It's kinda tanky as well, has 4 retreat cost, so you can give him plus 50 HP with the tool as well. Yeah, overall, probably gonna be a little bit too slow, but like it could have some potential, I guess. I like how well the first deck synergizes with Oranguru. Okay, Samacenta, another one of these guys. 30 damage, attach a basic and shield discard all this Pokemon. Okay, Simulation. Amazing Shield, 180 damage. This Pokemon takes no damage from attacks of Pokemon VMAX during opponent's next turn. Oh, if only it was like all Vs, then that could be really cool. But like, still doing 180 for 3, not too bad. And also like it's fighting. Honestly, it's fighting. So like this card should be really good against Eternatus as well, right? You one-shot Eternatus, and Eternatus can't touch you, so they have to use something else to knock it out. It's like if you commit a little bit to like turbo patches or something as well in this, maybe like this could be one of the cute techs you could play beside the baby station in ADP. Like it could have some potential. Like it's a lot of damage up, but just have to get around little awkward energy requirements. Like the attacks are really good, both this and the station. There's a lot of damage output for being single pricer basics. Almost unheard of. Fortress, 120. This Pokemon does 30 damage to itself for 3. Tie Bomber. Both active Pokemon are knocked out. You know what? That's kinda cool. But this energy requirement is crazy high. I guess you could go Twin Energy and then Saucer to like fulfill it. Like it's basically a Beedrill, but Beedrill was a stage 2, but only needed 1 energy again. Oh, this is stage 1 that needs 4. It's a little more effort getting this thing going. But we are in the format with a lot of triple pricers, so trading 1 for 3 is not horrible, but probably gonna be too cute. Steelix V. Raging Hammer, 30 plus damage. This deck does 10 more damage for each damage comes from this Pokemon. Okay, so it has Outrage. And Ardent Tackle to 10. This Pokemon does 30 damage to itself. That's for 5 actually. That's a lot of energies. Yeah, I don't quite see it, but that's a ton of HP though for a basic V. 250. That's a lot. I guess it's kind of cool. Being a metal Pokemon and all, you can make him really tanky with all these new cards. Like if you play it in the Lucario Melmetal deck with the new Stadium and energy removing weakness, you GX attack, you give him some goggles. He can be really tanky. So yeah, maybe like it could be teched in there, but probably just gonna be a Versation, right? Versation is just outclassing basically every other metal Pokemon now, and that's gonna be printed in for a long time. Beldum, Metang, Metagross, each of your Pokemon has no retreat cost. That's a really cool ability, but again this is stage 2, so in this format you deserve something amazing if you are putting a stage 2 into play. So this is good, but it's not stage 2 worthy good. Like Quake, and damage if defending Pokemon is an illusion Pokemon and can't attack during opponent's next turn. Nah, but like the ability is good. I wish it was easier to get stage 2s into play. Okay, another amazing rare. Ability, Dream Oracle. On during your turn, if this Pokemon is your active Pokemon, you may look at the top 2 cards of your deck, put one of them into your hand and turn the other one on top of your deck. That's kind of cool. You get like this sort of Musharna effect, Pokédex effect. You get to pick one of the top 2. And if you shuffle, then you don't need to draw the other card in between and stuff. So it's kinda weaker Irachi, but since we lost the skateboard, this might be one of the cards we would have to play in some decks, right? Like look at you and take one of them is not horrible, and also like this can pick Pokemon and energy as well, and you also get to see the other card and you doesn't know that it's on top, which is kind of valuable because if you have other cards that lets you draw a card, like maybe you have more Irachis for example and some ball cards, then you would know if you would shuffle or not, knowing if you would want the other card or not, right? So I kind of like how they designed this card, to be honest. And this you can actually attach a tool card to and like use multiple of them in a turn. So this card, this is one of the cards I'm more excited about in this set, actually. Kind of cool to have our old Irachi engine back. Like the problem with the Irachi now without the skateboard, like the old one with Stellar Wish, is that you always have to trade one of the cards in your hand for a card you get off of Stellar Wish. You always have to use like a switch to get it in the active or Scoop Up Net to get it out, like. So you always just trade one from one, but with this card you can now start building a hand. So that's really cool. I wish it looked at like maybe the top 3 or 4, and it would definitely be just an insane ability, but only being limited to 2 is a little low, but I still think it could be good enough to make engines around. Lucario, 30 damage, draw a card. Nickel Impact, 160. This Pokemon can't attack during your next turn. Nope. Dialga, clock back, attached to Metal Energy from this group pile to one of your Pokemon. Not too bad, being a single pricer, but like it's metal, right? And metal, again, we have Zacian, and Zacian lets you draw and attach at the same time, so like probably gonna be hard to compete with that for metal. 130, discard 2. No. Lance Fisk. If this Pokemon is your active Pokemon, it's damaged by an opponent's attack with 3 damage contained Pokemon. Okay. Triple Colors, 98, defending can't retreat during your opponent's next turn. Nope. Magearna, shuffle the hand into your deck, then draw 6 cards. I mean, automatic cannon, 10 plus damage. This deck does 20 damage times the number of your opponent's bench Pokemon. Nope. I guess I can do 110 for 2 pretty easily, and you have Metal Saucers. It's kind of easy to get going as well. You can boost it with ADPs and you do 140, but you're still not gonna reach things like the Den or Bat or something. If you did 30, so same as Mobile and being a single pricer, then maybe it could see some play. But right now it just seems like a worse Mobile, right? Lower damage output, you don't get the crazy ability when you bench it. Yeah. Lugia. Double colors, I guess, 40 damage. 4 colors, wind pressure, 250 damage. If your opponent has 5 or less cards in their hand, this deck does nothing. Okay, cool. Yeah, I got excited for 2 seconds there. That would seem like a lot of damage, but again, it's kind of one of these awkward damages, right? This being colorless Pokemon, you could go like double Twin Energy, and then you suddenly have a lot of damage output. Your opponent can't have 5 or more cards. This card would have to have a ton of Marn in your deck to use efficiently. Because if your opponent is at 4, then you can do a big attack, right? If your opponent has 5 or less cards, no, you can't. So your opponent needs a big hand for you to use this attack. Then it would be much harder for you to like manipulate the hand size up. We have like Stamp and Marnie to manipulate their hand sizes down, but it's kind of hard to manipulate their hand sizes upwards. It's like almost there. Rayquaza, just one attack on this one. Grass, Lightning, Fighting. Amazing Burst, 8 damage. Discard all basic energy from this Pokemon. This deck does 80 damage for each type of basic energy you discard in this way. Okay. Since each type and not anything. Yeah, if we somehow get a really reasonable way to power up these amazing rare cards, then maybe we could see them play in the future. Right now we don't really have the support to make this card too great. Especially because this is like a one-time use, right? So I think it's just going to be too vulnerable to power up this thing. For example, if you compare it to Zacian doesn't need 3, but then it slaps 300 right away. While this does 240. And also you have to use basic energy on this. Like the Amazing Zacian, we can use Aurora energy on, for example. And also the Samacenta doesn't have much requirements to use its attack, and has really good typing. So this is just going to be a little bit lackluster compared to the other 2 right now. But if we do get some really good energy acceleration somehow, then you could see more play. So you do better really input. Nah, this doesn't do much. Okay, Togekiss V. White Wave, 20 plus damage. If your opponent's active Pokemon is an evolved Pokemon, this attack does 70 more damage. For 1. Okay. I mean, so you can do 90 for 1. That's actually pretty good. Just hitting into VMAX, for example. Most VMAXs just knock you out in one go though, so it's not something you want to do, but like if you're forced to. Speedwing 130 for 3, okay. Max Glide, 120 damage. You may search your deck for up to 2 cards and put them in your hand, 10 shuffle your deck. And 310 HP, but for your treat. Kind of mixed feelings about this one. I think the damage output is a little too weak. If we had some better destruction cards in our format, then like you could get away with hitting 120, but right now 120 won't really do too much. Basically, if you want a good enough damage output on this guy, you need to attach 2 powerful energy to it. Then you do 160 and then you can actually start 2-shotting VMAXs. Then we would be talking. Giving this deck just 120 damage output is way too cautious. Could easily given this attack 150, 160 base, and I wouldn't see too much problem with it. 120 is just, I think it's just going to be too low. Too much of a hassle to use this good enough. Tornadoes, Jet Draft, 30 damage, discard special energy, that's your Pokemon. Air Slash, 120, nah. Not gonna be it, just too low. Trumbic, once during your turn, when you play this card from your hand to evolve a Pokemon, you may look at the top 3 cards of your deck. Choose any number of basic energy you find there and attach them to your Pokemon in any way you like. Shuffle the remaining cards into your deck. Okay, so I guess this is kind of the energy acceleration thing I talked about. But you only get to look at the top 3. And you can only guarantee 1 with Oranguru to put 1 on top. So I guess if you put 1 on top and you play a decent amount of energies, you could more or less guarantee or like have a decent chance of finding 2 of them a lot of the time. But even then, it's probably going to be too much effort to do this to power up your Pokemon efficiently. But like, it might be one of the better options we have right now to get all of these weird type energies into play onto the amazing rare Pokemon. And you can evolve it again, but that doesn't seem to be worth it. 60, discard an energy to replace active Pokemon. You can 160, return 2 energy. Yeah. You probably don't want to evolve this. You probably just play Pikipek and Trumbeak for any acceleration with Oranguru if you were to use this line. We have some trainers, Great Ball, Switch, Catcher, reprints. Moo Cheese, heal 30 damage from 2 of your Pokemon that have any energy attached to them. So it's basically like a potion, but you need energy. But you can heal 2 things with energy. Yeah. Not gonna make it, I think. Hero's Medal. Item Tool. The maximum HP of the Pokemon VMAX this card is attached to is reduced by 100. If this Pokemon VMAX is knocked out by damage from opponent's attack, they take 1 less prize card. Okay, so this is Island Challenge Amulet, but for VMAXs. Like, basically the exact same thing. You trade 100 HP for 1 prize card. As the meta is right now, your VMAXs need a little bit of effort to charge up. You usually have to like do one of your manual attachments to them and then attach with them next turn. So you're kind of struggling with streaming them efficiently. I guess you can do it better in like Frostmourne decks. And also, like, you could use this card if you see that your opponent is gonna go for the big one shot anyway. Like, you know they're gonna get there. So if you have this, you kind of force out another card of them. Like, they have to play a Tool Scapper or a Dangerous Drill, for example, to get rid of it. Like, I think this card could be meta relevant. Like, switching up the price trade is a big deal in Pokemon, and especially in this format where games are so quick. So I would definitely be on the lookout for this card as well. You should probably only play it in decks where you know you can stream VMAXs efficiently. I wouldn't just put this into anything. I would be a little conscious about knowing, okay, can I actually promote and charge 3 VMAXs in 3 turns, for example? Can my deck do that? Then I would definitely consider like the Hero's Medal here. Rocky Helmet, reprint. You attack into the Pokemon, you take 2. Not gonna be too much value anymore, I feel like. And it's probably better to just play Band so you get more proactive damage into play instead of hoping your opponent attacks into you and doesn't remove your tool. Beauty. You may play this card even if you're the player going first. Draw 2 cards. I mean, drawing 2 cards is not the best. That's probably not worth including spaces in your deck for. Even though we can use it going first. I don't think even if these drew 3 cards I would bother including it into my deck. So when it draws 2, it's just kind of an insult. Steer away from that card. Alistair, draw 3 cards, then discard up to 3 cards from your hand. You must discard at least 1. Okay, so this is like kind of rival cards, but with discarding as an added effect. So like if you have a deck that really want to discard a lot, like you kind of have to discard most of your hand. And I like if you could discard as many as you wanted, maybe, but this just seems all kind of awkward and unnecessary compared to other options we have. Opal, flip 2 coins for each heads, search your deck for a card and put it into your hand and shuffle your deck. I mean, like it's kind of a red challenge, except you have to flip, but you don't have to discard cards to use it. You could flip 2 tails, then you use your supporter for nothing in that turn. You could also flip 2 heads, and then you get to pick up any 2 cards, which could be huge. But I think normally when you use cards like this, you're mostly looking for like 1 card, and then you're looking for 1 heads. So I think you would be better off just playing Red Challenge if that's the kind of effect you want in your deck anyway. Discarding 2 cards, especially in this format which is so fast-paced, isn't the biggest downside. So I would much rather like just give up 2 cards from my hand than having to stress about flipping one out of 2 heads out of this supporter. We get a money reprint. We get a special grass energy, okay. We discard a statue grass Pokemon, it can't be affected by special conditions, and remove all special conditions from that Pokemon. Okay, it's kind of just weaker than the Voltor Energy, because that prevents all effects. This just prevents special conditions. But like when you prevent all effects, you also prevent special conditions. So that's kind of, you get everything in one package. You can't get put damage or other annoying effects, and here you just get the special conditions. Again, like grass just seems to get the short end of the stick here. Alright, Stone, Fighting Energy. If this energy attached to a fighting Pokemon, that Pokemon takes 20 less damage from opponent's attack. That's kind of funny that they like make the special fighting energy like a tank energy instead of like the usual team they have, which is just making fighting go as hard as possible and just smash, 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 right? So here you actually get a little more beefiness into it. I guess if you put this onto the fighting VMAX we looked at, the Colossal, then you would have something really hard to knock out actually. So then you could play with Dojo. We have a little bit of fighting support now. So play Oranguru, you can do this attack easily for just 1, and with the Dojo, especially if you're behind, then you can do 2-shot all cards in format for just the 1 energy, and you get to charge him. I mean, it's reasonable, but probably not gonna be the most inclusive card. But it's cool to see like different typing get more low end support in special energies. But honestly, if this did 20 extra damage, it would be 10 times better than reducing 20. Being proactive and aggressive instead of defensive is usually the way to go. But alright, that was all the cards from Legendary Heartbeat and Shocking Volt Tackle. This will make up the Vivid Voltage set we will get in November. So there you have it, that was my professional competitive standpoint on these 2 new sets, or like this Vivid Voltage set. Thanks for watching my second ever YouTube video. Give a like and subscribe if you like the content, and I will put out more videos for you guys. Cheers, and see you next time, okay?